There he is, Haason Reddick, held out all of training camp, all of the preseason, wasn't happy with his contract in Philadelphia. The Jets traded for him without signing him to a new contract, yada, yada, yada. He's still holding out, and who knows when he's going to show up. It changes, though, when you start losing game checks. We don't see, other than Le'Veon Bell, who sat out all of the 2018 season, his second year of being franchise tagged with the Steelers, you rarely see a guy dig in and stay dug in for the duration of a season, because that at $14.25 million divided by 18, what is that, about $800,000 a week that's going to disappear and never come back. It's never coming back each and every week. So we'll see if he ultimately shows up. Robert Saleh addressed it yesterday. He said of Reddick, he's going to know what he needs to do to be ready for week one, so he still has plenty of time. And again, they're counting on that now. He understands that check is going to fly away, never to be seen again. That is a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, it is, especially when you put it out like that, when it's a game check. But I don't know, sometimes guys want to take a stand, right? And this is not a team that he's familiar with in any way. So, I mean, other than taking the physical to get the trade to go through, like, that's the only thing that he's ever really done for them. So I don't know. This is interesting to me. I mean, it's there's only so much that a threat can do when you're kind of like, I don't want to do this anyway. I don't care about these people. Like, they don't want to do the thing that I want them to do. So it is what it is. And frankly, I think it's because I'm too Aaron Donald pilled, but I'm looking at that workout video and I'm like, that's all he's doing. Like, that's it. Like, not that it's not impressive.
There were no knives involved. There were no knives involved. It's hard to be impressed by anybody who isn't using knives.
Give me a little more there. Like, that your footwork's not that quick, and you're only going through two of those things. Like, I don't know. I think my perception of Aaron Donald and doing workouts has affected me here. Sorry, Reddick. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but
somebody's accusing me of being cynical. Jeez.
Okay.
Hating on Haason Reddick. Guy's just trying to get paid. And my math was almost right. $791,000 is what he loses each week, although I would have lost on Price is Right because I went over. I went over. I should have done 790. So anyway. Sure. Robert Saleh has a holdout, and he's facing a team week one that has a holdout and a hold in. Here's Robert Saleh on whether he expects to see left tackle Trent Williams of the 49ers and receiver Brandon Aiyuk of the same 49ers when the two teams get together to cap week one on Monday Night Football.
Fully expect those two. Fully expect Trent Williams to walk on the field and still be his all-pro self with a newly minted contract, I'm sure. But and Aiyuk, I'm sure he'll be there. But yeah, you keep an eye, kind of a side eye. But right now it's all tunnel vision towards them and only them. But I'll say this: with or without them, they're still a championship roster, and they've got some dudes all over the roster. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a great challenge.
Robert Saleh knows that team well. He was defensive coordinator of the 49ers before he became head coach of the Jets. And, yeah, it makes it a little easier. Even if they show up and are ready to play, it's the CeeDee Lamb conversation. When's your deadline? When are your guys practicing? When are your guys ready? Now, Trent Williams, given his skill set and experience and, how he does what he does, he could probably get up off the couch and go to the locker room and be ready to go on a moment's notice. With Brandon Aiyuk, it's probably a little more complicated to get into full and complete and tip-top game condition. But still, as of last week, we were led to believe, both by Kyle Shanahan and Deshaun Jackson, that this Trent Williams deal was getting done. Hasn't happened yet. And Williams not going to show up until he gets a new contract. I don't know that that's news, because it's kind of like, duh, that's what he's holding out for. He's not just going to say, oh, well, I tried. But the fact that it's a little bellicose at this stage of the calendar makes you think something's gone haywire. Whatever they were doing last week to get the two sides to come together, there's been movement apart. And, again, when does the clock strike 12? That's when everybody goes to their bottom line, and we see if they can connect their two positions.
Bellicose. What a lovely $25 word you just dropped in there. I can appreciate a little vocabulary lesson.
Not quite a Peter King word, but I'm just trying.
Yeah. It's
I'm trying to
approaching.
keep up with Peter.
No.
All right.
I like that. I liked it a lot. I think when you look at the 49ers and then the Jets trying to prepare for them, you have to think, okay, Brandon Aiyuk and Trent Williams are going to be there, and we have to prepare for them to be there, because if you don't, then you really look like bleeps when, you're on the field and it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that they were going to be here. They're these two really, really good players. Holy smokes. Like you have to prepare that way as if that they will be there. And especially because Robert Saleh knows that team so well. I mean, that's just something you got to do. And then you adjust if it so happens that they don't have, their all-pro left tackle. They don't have one of the better receivers in football in Brandon Aiyuk. And frankly, and for my money, the player who appears to have the most chemistry when it comes to being a receiver with Brock Purdy. Like, that's a significant loss if they're not there. But up until you don't know that they're going to be there, then you got to prepare for them to be there, because that's what makes them so darn good, is because the 49ers have one of the best offensive minds in football calling plays and designing plays, and Kyle Shanahan, and they've got some of the best offensive skill set players in football, and that's what's made them so good over the last few years.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.